Moving on into the half pass on the circle. Now this can be a little bit more challenging. Usually it's more challenging, not always. Sometimes some of the horses are like, oh yeah, I can do this. But what I like to do, so your half pass work is going off in a diagonal. So on the circle, you have the circumference of the circle, and what you're doing is you're diagonaling from that line of travel. And so I first get my walk circle going here. So I'm just asking Nisa here to walk off. And we've done all of our work before, setting him up, getting her prepared for the half pass. So I don't just come out and say, okay, now do this, because this is a much more difficult movement. So I'm going to get a nice walk, get her relaxed, get her long in the neck, but still connected in my hand. I don't want her where she's not connected. And now I'm going to come in and walk a fairly small circle. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to slowly start changing the bend to the outside. And it doesn't have to be much, it's just a slight change. And now I like to think of this as I'm riding or working her on a bullseye. So if I have the center of the bullseye here, just pick a point, and if you need to, sometimes putting a cone or a barrel gives you that visual of the center of your bullseye. And then you know how a bullseye has rings on it. And so what you're going to do is you're going to ride or work your horse on one ring here. So we're on this ring, and then we're going to half pass to a bigger ring. So I first want to just keep her on this size ring, and now I want to enlarge, so I'm going to half pass her out onto the bigger ring, and now once I'm on that, I can go straight ahead. And I'm going to change the bend back to the inside. So you're doing lots of flexing from the inside. Now I'm going straight ahead on that circle. And now I'm going to change the bend to the outside. And half pass out to a bigger ring. Once I'm there, and then I'm going to go straight ahead, change the bend back to the inside, back to the circle. Not that you have to do that every time, but it's actually a great exercise because it gets them to be able to bend left and right. Now that we're full size here, we're all the way out to the biggest ring, what I can do is just spiral back in. So I can spiral back into my small circle. And keep her walking. She wants to slow down. Change the bend to the outside. And she's like, okay, let's just leave. I'm like, nope, not yet. And now I'm going to enlarge my circle. So now I'm on a bigger ring. Going to go straight ahead. So she got a little tight in the neck. Changing the bend back to the inside helps her to soften and relax a little bit. And then I'm going to change the bend back to the outside. And half pass out. And then I can spiral back in. If you need to do that multiple times, that's fine. Or I can now circle back the other way and go from the outside to the inside, half pass from the outside to the inside. This is going to be a little bit harder because you're making the circle smaller in your half pass. So now I'm keeping the bend to the inside the whole time because that's the circle. And now I'm going to half pass into a smaller circle, nice, and then stay on this size ring here. Keeping her bent to the inside, and half pass in to a smaller circle. There she got a little bit sticky in her feet. She didn't keep the forward. And now I'm going to go around and half pass in, which eventually this can lead into a walk pirouette. And let her have that. That was pretty nice. So you're first going to get the half pass out, and I'm going to change sides so we can show you both sides here. But you got to see how we go out and come back in and how that leads into your pirouette. So I'm getting her on that circle, walking around. See there, her walk's almost getting a little bit too pokey. She's starting to get just a little bit too relaxed, or not really any engagement or life there. So I'm just still looking for just a circle here, quality. Now I'm going to say, okay, can you bend to the outside? And can we enlarge our circle? Go to a bigger ring on our bullseye. And then I'm going to change the bend back to the inside. This is nice. Change the bend to the outside. And I'm doing that by drawing down on the outside rein here. And then asking to enlarge the circle. And I do that with just bringing my hand onto her side here a little bit. And if I needed to, I could use the whip, but I don't need to with her. She's real sensitive with that. There, and then I'm going to let her go forward. Now we're out to the full size of our bullseye, so I'm just going to spiral her back in. Keeping a nice walk. There, she got a little bit sticky. And I'm still waiting on her. She's like, oh, what are you going to do? What's up next? And I'm like, no, I'm not asking anything. All I'm asking for is the walk circle here. See, and she thinks we got all these. So, and that's common. The more pieces you give your horse, the more they start going, okay, is it this one? Is it that one? What is it you want? And I have to go, nope, all we're looking for right now is just a nice walk circle. Yeah, there. She's started to relax. Now I'm going to ask her to flex to the outside a little. Stay soft, stay relaxed. And ask her to half pass out. And that's pretty nice there. Change the bend back to the inside. And then I can spiral, and I'm going to actually spiral back in on this side one more time, just to help her because this side is a little bit more challenged. So I need control over the shoulder. She just wants to keep leading outward. Good. Now I'm going to change the bend to the outside. Keep the forward. Keep her neck relaxed. And ask her to enlarge that circle. Yes. And change the bend back to the inside. And now I'm going to circle back, staying on the large circle, and we'll half pass to the inside. So I get the bend to the inside, say stay on the big circle. When everything's ready, then I'm going to say, oh, and let's half pass in to a smaller circle. Stay there for a bit. And then half pass into the center, and I can do a little walk pirouette. And that's just putting the hind end on a small circle, maybe the size of a hula hoop, as she stays bent into the direction of travel, having her move around that. And that was pretty nice. So there's still some stickiness. She's assuming things. So I have to keep playing with that, keep defining. Nope, this is what we're doing right here. Is I just want the bend to the outside, but I don't want you leaving to the outside, or whatever it might be. So you have to identify what's the issue for your horse and which movement do you need to use to help your horse. And we'll play with some of those exercises. I'm going to give you some different exercises that give you the common things that horses do, and what are some of the exercises, combinations that you can use to help your horse get to one day we'll be back here and being able to go out and do all of our movements, and you should be able to do them all at a walk, trot, and canter. And that's a really fun thing to do, to be able to do. So go out there, start playing with it, and let me know how it's working for you. See you in the next video.